I'm Dr. Barbara Shannon Bannister, Chief of the Community Relations Division for the City of Aurora. Welcome to the 28th Annual Martin Luther King Jr. Commemoration. We're the only city in the nation that has a week-long event from Monday the 12th of January through the 20th of January, and we're so proud of that. And we're the only city in Colorado that has a Martin Luther King Jr. library. So be proud of all the things that our city has. I'd like to introduce my guests tonight. They are sponsors of our events and for scholarships this year. So on my far left is...
I'm Bill Holden. I'm a county commissioner with Arapahoe County, serving the 5th District, which is basically from Colfax to Mississippi. And I'm honored to be with such a wonderful community leader as you, Barbara, tonight. Thank you.
Thank you.
And my name is Melissa Viola. I'm the Public Information Campaigns Manager at the Piton Foundation. And Piton, we're a private operating foundation based in Denver. We were founded by an oil man named Sam Gary. And our mission is all around improving the lives of children and families. And we're so excited to be supporting you and the great events that you're doing.
Thank you. And on my right is...
Ms. Barbara, my name is Grace Lucero, and I work for Wells Fargo. I'm a Community Development Officer in Community Development, and we are very proud to be participating in the Martin Luther King Jr. commemoration with the City of Aurora. So thank you for inviting us to participate.
Thank you. You know this invite will come every year.
So looking forward
to them coming.
Yes, to keep them coming, and I'll be asking a little bit more every year for you to help us as we give scholarships to, last night and you were there.
Yes.
Last night we gave scholarships to 23 seniors from Aurora Public Schools, and we had a wonderful multicultural night of performances, etc. And it just was representative of so many cultures and just was beautiful, wasn't it?
It was. It was so rich and colorful, and it was exciting to get exposed to various cultural backgrounds, and they were so passionate about what they were doing. It was a great experience. I would encourage people to be involved in the commemoration events as much as they can throughout the week, because I think they're in store for some real treats.
Thank you. And we're going to do that again next year also, because I think it's an opportunity for those seniors to get immersed in other cultures too. And then our symphony brass was there, and they ended it with when the Saints go marching in. I said, I'm from New Orleans, you did my number, you know. Yes. that works.
Well, Barbara, that's so poignant because Aurora is has such a diverse population. I believe we have over 157 different spoken languages and a multicultural and diverse community, which I think we all should be very proud of.
Absolutely. So tell me, when I approached you about, and Bill has been a member of our committee for months and months. He comes whenever he can and has, raised funds for us, and both you, Piton and Wells Fargo, were very generous with us. What about the Martin Luther King commemoration makes you want to be a part of it and to help us succeed?
Barbara, as you know, Arapahoe County did participate as a sponsor this year, and I think it's emblematic of our total commitment as county commissioners to support programs like yours, which is a nationally recognized program that helps us address diversity, address the wonderful legacy of Dr. Martin Luther King, whose dream has always been, and I always like to quote from his speech the comment that his children should not be judged by their color but the content of their character. And I think that's one of his lasting messages and legacy. And I think this opportunity that you put together in their program provides us an opportunity to really live that portion of his dream. So thank you.
Thank you. Yes, we're focusing on the dream, So,
Bill, you mentioned that Aurora is a rich and diverse community, and for Wells Fargo, that's something that's really critically important as well. We don't want to be just within the community, we want to be a part of the community, and that's why we have a strong community presence in throughout the state of Colorado, but we really wanted to get involved in the Aurora commemoration because it is so special, it is nationally recognized, and what a great opportunity for us to be able to award scholarships to young folks who are really in need and can use the help to kickstart their educational goals. And quite frankly, we have selfish reasons too. Our hope is that at some point they may in turn look to us for job and career opportunities in the future. And what a great way to pay back, if you will, if they're able to do that. That would be wonderful.
Absolutely.
One of the legacies that I work with have worked with the Laotian Hmong community for many years, and their sense of community support and patriotism for the United States is amazing. And I always tell people that it's one of the few groups, well, there are many diverse groups that come here from oppression, and they came back in 1975 when Vietnam fell, and within a generation they went from loincloths to PhDs. And it's amazing how their culture was able to mesh with ours and bring the next generation up sociologically into a higher level of financial and community support.
And what about Piton?
Yeah, well, I was going to say, community support, that's what Piton is all about. And we focus so much of our efforts here in Aurora and really want to improve the lives of the family and the children that are living here. And so for us to be part of events that really bring the community together and celebrate the rich legacy of Dr. King is so important to us.
All right. Can you think of things that, I know you've just seen this cursorily, the programs that we've had thus far. We had the press conference on Monday, and the Aurora Central High School choir sang, and they were just absolutely beautiful. They were on that wonderful staircase down there in our lobby, and we had the ROTC. And I understand, what are you, Vietnam is it?
Yeah, Vietnam veteran.
And you're wearing your ribbon?
Well,
Your
this
pin?
this is just a ribbon from Vietnam.
What do you mean it's just a?
Well, yes, I'm a Vietnam. I served in Vietnam in 1967 to 68 during the worst time of the war, and since that time I've been a very strong advocate for veterans. And one thing that I learned, a lesson that I learned from that experience was since the integration of the services back in 1952, the African American has been one of the most patriotic and strongest supporter of our country in the armed forces, and the armed forces provided an opportunity for them to grow and improve their lot through career service in the military, and that's where I began to realize the importance of having a diversity within the community as well.
Okay, all right. Well, then we, on Monday night, and today is Wednesday, isn't it? My days are getting away from me. On Monday night, the mayor read the proclamation at City Council. And I can sure, I don't know of whether how, an 8-year-old did this.
That's such a cool cover.
Isn't
I
it
love
such
it.
a cool cover? And someone was saying today that when she didn't know it, because we kept this from her, and when we unveiled it that morning at the press conference, they said the camera really should have been on her face, because it was like when she saw it, it was like they said for a minute it seems she didn't believe it, and then she realized, oh, that's mine. And then her teachers came up because they were hiding in the crowd because they didn't want her to see him. And then she started crying, and they were crying. And I think this is such a neat kind of activity that we're going to have every year. We did the elementary school children this year. Next year will be middle school children, and then we'll go on up so that people are competing in their own age bracket. And I mean, she said, look, she did it, and I think this is just beautiful. And She came to City Council that night, and we gave her a frame one. And then we gave her an artist kit. So who knows? This may be our little,
Your
and you can
Picasso.
say, yes, just think, we were the first
You were the
sponsors. That's
inspiration.
right, we
That's
were the
right.
inspiration. We sponsored that year, and just think, she's in the Sistine Chapel or wherever she may be, you know. And while we put this on our cover, just think how much this is selling for now,
That's
you
right.
know. So that you have a legacy
Right.
that you are going to be attached to for many, many years. So that was Monday. Tuesday, what did we do on Tuesday? Oh, Tuesday we did the multicultural program
That's
last
right.
night.
Yes.
The brass quintet, the group Lorico, we had the Filipino choir, we had the
Pasca.
African group, and who else that? Well, that was it. And then we had the brass play Pomp and Circumstance, and had our graduates come up, and they were presented with their awards. And I almost felt like, you know, when one person came back and said thank you about being healed, one young woman came back and said to me, "You don't know how important this is to me. I thank you so much." And it wasn't that she got the highest amount, but she came back and said, you know, "I really, really thank you. You have no idea what this means to me." So it makes it all worthwhile. Not that it wasn't worthwhile anyway, but for someone to come back and just genuinely, because she didn't have to do that.
Right.
She
It's
didn't have to do that.
confirmation of how
That's right.
impactful even a small amount can be in helping them to stay motivated and to look for options and to find opportunities in various forums and through various resources. I was really lucky to be a part of the press conference
Absolutely.
when Miss Georgia, the young lady who did the cover for your program, was acknowledged for her artwork, and the moment was absolutely priceless. You're right, there was not a dry eye in the crowd. She was completely surprised that she had been selected, and her teachers and her parents, they were so proud of her.
Absolutely. And you know, in the schools, because of a lot of the cuts,
Art is being cut.
the art, those projects, those disciplines are disappearing. And I, as an artist, a musician, I know how important it is for music and poetry and all those kinds of things that we are involved in help to teach discipline, stick to it, you know, and it helps stay focused. And I guess educators haven't learned that well yet, but they will, because that helps the students do better in
What is
school.
so important in your point is that I call that the gentle hand on the shoulder. Sometimes that's all it takes to inspire a young person to go forward and actually go after their dreams. It's amazing sometimes these young people have so much tenacity and overcome many obstacles. We have a scholarship program with the county, and we select kids that have had difficulty and overcome those difficulties as recipients of those awards. And those stories that they tell is just, it brings tears to your eyes. There is a whole class of young people that have been neglected and that need that simple recognition to help them on their path through life. And thank you for what you do, Barbara.
Well, thank you. I have a God that gives me the energy and the insight, and I ask Him to order my path every day. Now, I don't always stay on the right path, but I ask Him to lead me every day. Today is Wednesday, and my chorale sang at the Fox Theater. We had about 150 kids in the Fox Theater, and they're from the schools right around close to the Fox Theater, so they can walk in. And the program lasts about an hour, and we did spirituals and civil rights songs. And then we had a black drumming group that did drumming and so forth, and got them all, you know, dancing around and very, their energies levels up so that they can go back to school and really feel good about what they've experienced. And now tonight, and we've been doing this session for many years. And we're just so glad to be able to talk about concerns and to reach a greater part of our community. and it's just a blessing for us. And tomorrow night, because we can't talk about everything tonight, tomorrow night we're going to engage in a discussion about race. We seem so hesitant to say, let's talk about race. And we're not talking about racism. We're talking about race. We think we are so different, but we are so much alike. We're so much alike. I'm from New Orleans, and I thought, rice and beans were, Southern stuff. Well, people have been eating rice and beans long before the South was here.
Many
So,
cultures.
yes, absolutely. So, we are so much alike. If you just look at just recipes, just restaurants, we are so much alike. And so we tend to think about our differences and focus on that. But we are just one great big salad. And everything in that salad makes it all taste good.
And colorful.
And colorful, and colorful, and colorful. So that's what we'll be doing tomorrow night at the Martin Luther King Library. And did I say that already? That we are the only one with the library. And so we'll do that for a couple of hours. On Friday night, the state is having, under Mr. Vern Howard, they're having their scholarship awards at the Martin Luther King Jr. Library too. So that's a great event, and they usually have about 150 people attend that dinner, and so that'll be very, very nice also. Saturday we have a little bit of a break, and we can participate in the martial training for the parade, etc., down in Denver. Sunday at New Hope Baptist Church at 4 o'clock. It'll be kind of like a preach out. Ministers will be doing speeches, etc., and preaching. And so just a lot of things going on. But and Sunday, did I say Sunday is at New Hope Baptist Church at 4 o'clock. And then Monday, our council wanted us to put more emphasis on Aurora and doing some things out here in Aurora. So on Monday, we will gather here on the Chamber Street side here at the Aurora Municipal Center, and at 7:30. And we want everybody to come out in their cars and drive with us over to the Fletcher Plaza, which is by the library. Our motorcycle cops will lead us. And if you don't think that is exciting, it's like when we're going down the street and they run out and block off so that we can get through. People are wondering, I wonder if the president's coming. Is the president's coming in? And then we can just sit and just wait.
Feel extra special.
Yeah, and they are just so, it's just so precise and so nice and just such a showy group. And they just look great on film. And when they come out of our municipal center down that little roadway, they look just so beautiful. And then they lead us on out, and we'd go down Colfax. And so we'll go over to Fletcher Plaza, and we'll have some choirs will be singing. Our mayor will speak. Representative Kaufman should be there, and he'll be giving some words. I don't know if any other national figures will be there, but certainly if they're there, that is our courtesy and our protocol to let them have some say-so too. We'll have coffee and cocoa. We'll have breakfast sandwiches, and we'll lay the wreath, and we're going to initiate the dream tree. And so we've got a dream tree, and we'll have it cordoned off, and people will be able to write on little slips of material, cloth, what their dream is. And we'll attach it to the tree, or to the fence around the tree, and let that stay there for a while with what their dream is. We got the idea from one of the schools, I think it was one of the elementary schools, about 5 years ago. They brought a tree in that one of the teachers had put together, and it was in a cement box, and she had just creatively done the bark and everything, and they had these great big leaves, and most of the dreams were from Latinos. I'll be glad, when we can not worry about being deported. I'll be glad when my mother and father are together. You know, those were the kinds of things, and I have that.
Wasn't it in your office for a while?
It's in my. It's still in my office.
Oh,
It's
okay.
going to stay there until it dies. And of course, it'll never die because yes, it's still in my office. So when someone was in the office and saw that, they said, "Well, let's have a real dream tree where adults
great
can
idea.
put their dreams on." So that's going to be down at Fletcher Plaza, and our city council has appropriated funds for us to have a statue at the Martin Luther
Wow,
King
that's
Library.
amazing.
Isn't that something?
That's great.
A statue at the Martin Luther King Library. That is absolutely, well, I've told.
That's really telling about the commitment that
Absolutely.
the city makes to, again, this week-long celebration. That's very
Absolutely.
significant.
Absolutely, and we're just so proud that they saw fit to take some of the revenue that they are experiencing, that they're gathering to honor that to honor Martin Luther King and do something in front of that library. Tonight we talked about the Aurora community of faith and our homeless community, and the things that the police and the fire department and our faith-based ministries here in Aurora are doing to make sure that, especially when it's cold weather, that people are out of harm's way. We talked a bit about the immigrants and the refugees, making sure that they are included and not excluded, and that we do things to, Martin Luther King called it the beloved community. Aurora is the beloved community, and so we need to be doing the things that make people feel welcome, and they're here because they must feel welcome, and we're so proud of that. And then, of course, here we are talking about the sponsors, and you're so important to us.
Thank you. You know, I think that's one of the things that our organizations share. We also, Wells Fargo also has a passion for really understanding what our community needs are and developing programs and resources that address those needs. Last year, we were fortunate enough to provide over $4 million to nonprofit organizations that serve all of our communities across the state, and that was about 1,200 organizations that we were able to provide grants to, and some of these organizations are addressing some of these needs that you're talking about.
Wonderful.
Yes.
That is absolutely marvelous.
Arapahoe County also does a lot of, we call it aid to agencies from our funds, and we're supporting the Aurora Mental Health Network as well as the Arapahoe Douglas Mental Health Network, and I serve on that board. And the other things that we're doing, I've helped initiate, along with Sheriff Robinson, a program to begin to address the prescription drug abuse in this community. Arapahoe County has one of the largest death rates from opiate overdoses than any other county in the state, and so we're working very hard with Kaiser Permanente to put together a program that will help address some of these issues. But truly, I think it's organizations like ours and governments like ours that have an obligation to reach out and identify issues that need help financially and to help alleviate some of the issues that are really hurting the community and putting wedges between our citizens, which is not an appropriate way to live in a society. We need to be, we need to have the spirit that Barbara has kept alive all these years in her efforts. So thank you again, Barbara.
Thank you. I want to talk about our backdrop, how beautiful, what we are in front of. That from left to right is a quote by Artie Johnson from Denver, and she's with the Wajinaji Quilting Guild, and the title of that is Why Not Africa? And the next one is by Mary Lassiter, and Cultivating Friendships Village. And the last one by Camilla Edwards, Dancing to the Beat of the Drum. And oh, but look, just turn around and just dancing to the beat of, isn't that beautiful? Isn't that beautiful? Dancing to the, and all those music notes, dancing to the beat of the drum. I can just hear it now. I can just hear it now. Well, it's been such a pleasure to have you here with me. Thank you so very much. Arapahoe County Commissioner, Piton Foundation, and Wells Fargo. Thank you so very
Thank
much.
you.
I appreciate all of you so very much. Be the change you want to see in this world. You may never know what results come of your actions, but if you do nothing, there will be no result. Thank you,
Thank
and God
you.
bless.
Thank you.